comprehensive economic partnership agreement between the UAE and India.
Your safety and security are of prime importance to us. The Opera Ballroom where you're seated at the moment is on the ground floor. In the event of an unlikely emergency, the entrance to this hall serves as an exit that takes you to the pre-function area. The fire exits are located opposite the entrance and leads you out of the hotel to the assembly point. All our associates are trained emergency responders and will assist you in case of an unlikely emergency. Please follow the appropriate fire exit signage in case of an evacuation. Do not leave your personal belongings unattended. On behalf of Team Taj Dubai, I would like to wish you all a safe and secure conference. Thank you.
Really so short and crispy presentation. As the fire we heard, if I request for the sound also, if we can put our mobiles on the silent mode, if not on the switch off mode. Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement as signed on 18th of February 2022 with effect from 1st May 2022. Today, we are celebrating, and to celebrate that evening, may I request our Vice Chairman, Mr. Sunil Sinha, to give an opening remark and welcome note.
Thank you, Sahitya ji. Shri Yatin Patel, Deputy Consul General of India to Dubai, Mr. Ahmad Al-Janibi, Director, UAE India CEPA Council, Mr. Marwan, my fellow governors, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm and hearty welcome to all of you in this event. Think about it. Isn't it remarkable how far we have come in the last over 2 years as far as this CEPA journey is concerned? And therefore, like Mr. Sahitya Chaturvedi said, today we are here to celebrate a milestone, the milestone anniversary, 2 years anniversary of CEPA. But before we dive into the subject, let me ask you this question. What truly drives two nations to forge such a powerful partnership? What truly drives the two nations to forge? I think it is the promise of mutual growth. Both countries will grow. I think it is the excitement of shared opportunities, and it's the vision where both countries can thrive together. And I'm sure the other experts will talk about it. The India-UAE CEPA embodies all these ideas and ideals and much more. But what exactly does it matter to people who are sitting here today, to each one of us? So let's start with something which directly impacts all of us. TRADE, trade. Have you noticed that in the last 2-3 years, there has been a growing presence of Indian products in the UAE market, from the exquisite textiles, jewelry, to cutting-edge technology, to massive range of industrial products? It is clear that our trade relations are flourishing. Thanks to CEPA, I believe, and somebody can correct me, that tariff on over 80% of Indian exports to the UAE have either been reduced or have been removed. And this is not a mere statistic. It is story about business growing between the two countries. It is story about connection deepening between the two leadership, between people to people, between the two countries. And it's a story about market expanding for UAE in India, for India in UAE. And I think you will agree with me that this itself is worth celebrating, while we all know that trade is just the beginning of the beginning. And therefore, the beginning has been made very, very powerful, very, very well. Now, what about investment? This is also very fascinating. Did you know that UAE investment in India have soared to almost 11 billion US dollars? And this makes UAE one of the top investors in India, fueling growth across areas like infrastructure, real estate, renewable energy, and much more. And this is not just about the numbers. It's about new businesses being created in India, in UAE. It's about new jobs being created in both countries. And it's about opportunities being unlocked. So how does it make you feel about the future with multiple CEPA in progress, and especially CEPA between India and UAE in progress? As we look around, we see that the impact of this partnership is much more holistic, much more encompassing, even in our cultural exchanges. Festivals from both nations are being celebrated with equal joy and enthusiasm. The cultural mingling is enriching our societies in many ways that numbers can't capture, and perhaps these numbers can't express the benefit of the cultural mingling. And therefore, let's not forget the backbone of our economy, which is small and medium scale industries, SMEs, and these businesses contribute to almost 30% of India's GDP. It employs over 110 million people in India, and these SMEs are now finding new opportunities for expanding their businesses under the certain provisions of CEPA. Special provisions within the agreement are surely helping the SMEs. So you may ask the question, what next? This has happened, what next? And we believe that India-UAE CEPA is not just a static process. It's a living, breathing partnership designed to evolve with time, and we hope that things will change, things will evolve. And as we look ahead, I think the focus will be on enhancing digital trade, on improving logistics, and making it even easier to do business between India and UAE. Imagine a future where transactions between India and UAE are as seamless as our conversation. And that is the dream. That's how it should happen. It is exciting. I believe that we are moving in that direction as far as the currencies are concerned, ease of doing business is concerned. So I would like to say in conclusion that the India-UAE CEPA is not just an economic agreement, it's a symbol of what can be achieved when two nations come together with a shared vision. It's about building resilient, inclusive partnership that benefits everyone, from large corporations to businesses to cultural exchanges to deepening of economic ties. So let's continue to support and celebrate this partnership, and that's why we are present here today. And together, I can assure you we are not just building stronger economies between the two nations, but a brighter future for both nations and beyond. So, thank you very much for your time, for your patience, for your participation in this program, and we hope that you will have exciting next 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Thank you very much.
CEPA. I think More than an agreement, it is a commitment. And commitment for an environment which is predictable and which is transparent. And in this journey, the efforts I remember, the time COVID-19 and the Expo 2020, the ways and means we were asked to compile and support the knowledge, the financials, how the business take place, what are the challenges, what the opportunities can be explored. From IBPC, with the support of our knowledge partners, Big Four auditors, even we released some souvenirs. And today, we are here to celebrate. And as Mr. Sunil Sinha mentioned, that it is a journey. We will be continuing it as a series. The programs are going to be announced before I request our Deputy Consul General of India in Dubai, holding many portfolios, and I request him to come on podium and address the audience.
Excellency Mr. Ahmad Ashnebi, Director of UAE India CEPA Council, dignitaries of IPPC, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and honor for me to represent Consulate General of India in front of you today. And the occasion of celebration of CEPA is always a special one. The agreement which got signed in 2022 February and came in implementation in May 2022, it has gone from strength to strength, and there are a few numbers which I would be throwing your way which would corroborate what I need to say. The bilateral trade between our two countries, which was in tune of $73 billion in financial year 2021-2022, so it has already reached around $84 billion. The export from India, which were around $26 billion, it has grown up to $28.5 billion, and similarly the import from UAE to India, it has also gone up to $53.2 billion. So there are increase in trade between two countries all around. Sunilji actually mentioned about how many percent of Indian products have received the benefit of elimination or reduction of duties. More than around 99% of Indian products are actually the beneficiary of this agreement. And the reduction of duty is actually in tune of 97.4% reduction. So the numbers are actually speaking the story here. There are 160 sub-sectors and services. In more than 100 sub-sectors, both the countries have extended concessions to each other. Then investment have definitely gone up in both the direction. So we have, this numbers telling us that the agreement has augmented our indicators, but there are also certain points which indicates that the actual benefits have gone beyond these numbers. Few points I would like to crystallize here, that these are the benefits that we have observed ever since CEPA has come into implementation. Naturally, the bilateral trade has gone up, and that has made both this country each other's biggest trade partners. Then we have observed sectoral developments. There are, let's say, energy sector, which has been the biggest recipient of each other's investment. There are many renewable projects and plenty of collaboration in oil and gas exploration and production. The market access and business opportunities have improved. Dubai Chambers or other trade bodies present here, they can always tell that the number of entities present in each other's countries in all over these years have increased ever since CEPA has come into practice. And then it has also led into growth in various sectors such as retail, healthcare, education, pharmaceutical, IT, and the benefits have percolated in other subsectors also. So the dynamic trade relationship is also helping us out with our robust supply chains. The trade has diversified from not just, while predominantly it used to be in the energy sector, but now other sectors are also catching up, and that has resulted into dynamic and robust supply chains. We have also observed the other benefits like transfer of technology. As the trade ties are increasing, it has enabled the transfer of technology between business entities. And there is always the element of skill development as the new sectors are emerging, as the trade facilitation has enabled new talent to grow in this environment. The skill development side has also seen the upswing. So in conclusion, I can say that it has transformed our bilateral trade and economic relationship. The reduction of trade barriers, enhanced market access, and investment has strengthened our economic ties and created new opportunities all around. At the same time, if the question is what is next, then I'm sure we all have certain role to play. As the agreement like CEPA turns trade regulars into trade facilitators, bodies like IBPC from propagators to enablers, business have plenty to gain. I'm sure, on our government side, there would be plenty of evaluation, there would be plenty of adaptation on the side of trade bodies, and there would be plenty of calibration on side of business. But we all can agree that the economic ties between two countries would go strength to strength on back of CEPA. Thank you very much for providing me this opportunity to address all of you. Thank you.
We can't leave you like this, sir. We need many more things. Even I want to say many things on behalf of all of you. Don't worry, these are not the questions, because the questions and answer session is going to come. But before that, I request our governor, Mr. Paras Sahab, to come on the stage and felicitate the Deputy General Council of India here. So, Mr. Ramesh Mahalingam, I request you, Mr. Ahmad Al-Zanebi, I request you to come on the stage. Celebration begins, and in that celebration today, the special guest who we have has come across from Delhi to implement CEPA, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. The government established the UAE and India CEPA Council. Mr. Ahmad Al-Zanebi is with us today, who is Director of UAE India CEPA Council. He is responsible for overseeing the Council's strategic direction, stakeholders' engagement efforts, and also ensuring Indian and UAE business are able to truly benefit from the opportunities born through signing the CEPA. Mr. Al-Zanebi is an experienced diplomat, having served in the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Department of Economic and Trade Affairs, and prior to his posting to embassy in New Delhi, which he completed a day before 1 year. So congratulations to you. He has been conducting many roadshows across India, and of course UAE in different Emirates. The roadshows recently, what I heard, have been in Chennai, even in Bihar, in Mumbai, Delhi, different states and cities. So we request Mr. Ahmad Al-Zanebi to come on podium and address the journey, the opportunities, and the potential behind CEPA.
Good afternoon, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor to participate in today's two-year celebration of the UAE-India Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, as we dub it as CEPA. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Indian Business and Professional Council, IBPC, for the invitation to speak at this event and to address the Indian business community based here in the UAE. The IBPC, as the largest of Indian business people and professionals in the UAE, as the largest association for that, has long been a pillar of strength in the UAE-India bilateral relationship. It has continuously played a crucial role in fostering economic ties, supporting business endeavors, and serving as a bridge between our two great nations. With the UAE being home to over 83,000 Indian companies, the relevance of the IBPC to today's discussion cannot be overstated. The IBPC's efforts in promoting trade, investment, and professional development are invaluable, making it the ideal platform to discuss the significance of the UAE-India CEPA and the opportunities this groundbreaking agreement has presented. Further, the IBPC's commitment to strengthening the bonds between our countries ensures that our dialogue here today is both timely and impactful, providing us with the perfect setting to explore how the CEPA is shaping the future of our bilateral relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear that the ties between the UAE and India have never been stronger, nor as constructive as they are today. Across the full spectrum of our relationship, we are witnessing both quantitative and qualitative expansion in our engagement that is to the benefit of both our peoples. A key factor behind the upward positive trajectory of our relationship has been the CEPA. The CEPA, which came into effect on 1st of May 2022, has served to only further catalyze and deepen the UAE-India partnership. The CEPA is not just a trade agreement, it is a comprehensive framework that goes beyond goods. It unlocks tariff-free trade and services and investment, providing both UAE and Indian businesses with unparalleled regulatory certainty. Since its implementation over 2 years ago, the CEPA has delivered a multitude of benefits, including expanded market access for our businesses seeking to enter each other's respective markets, significantly decreased tariffs, streamlined customs procedures, and introduced a series of robust and transparent regulations that support rules-based competition. Finalized amidst significant global trade challenges and rising protectionism, the CEPA stands as a statement or a testament to what can be achieved through genuine cooperation and trust. The CEPA was the first trade agreement signed by India in over a decade and was negotiated in a record 88 days. Notably, it included many first-time provisions for an agreement involving India, such as chapters on digital trade, government procurement, and a separate annex on pharmaceuticals. The positive effects of the CEPA on the economies of the UAE and India cannot be overstated. Total trade between our two countries has increased by nearly 15%. The UAE exports to India expanded by over 7%, and the Indian exports to the UAE rising by an impressive 27%. Moreover, the CEPA is already one of the most utilized free trade agreements signed by India, which speaks to the highly complementary nature of our economies. From an Indian perspective, a strong growth in trade has been seen across a range of sectors, particularly in gems and jewelry, pharmaceuticals, and agriculture. Another significant aspect of the post-CEPA trade that I would like to highlight is the changing composition of our trade basket. We are seeing a decreased reliance on hydrocarbons as a key commodity shaping trade ties between our countries. In fact, total non-oil trade between the UAE and India registered a 20% increase in the financial year 2023-2024. This is a significant achievement, underscoring the transformative benefits of the CEPA and the strong prospects for further growth in our economic partnership. Beyond trade, the CEPA is also enhancing investment opportunities between our countries. In just 2 years since the agreement's implementation, we've witnessed numerous investments across various sectors from both countries. For instance, UAE-based Mubadala Investment Company has committed $525 million to Tata Power Renewables in India, while DP World has recently signed an MOU with the state of Gujarat to invest $3 billion US over the next 3 years in the development of new ports, terminals, and economic zones. On the other hand, India's growing interest in investing in the UAE is evident through the increasing foreign direct investment from India and the rapid rise in the number of Indian-owned companies registered in the UAE in the past year. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond outlining the benefits already achieved since the implementation of the CEPA, I would also like to take this opportunity to discuss the UAE-India CEPA Council, an organization that I proudly oversee as a director. Launched with the direct support of the Indian and UAE governments at the Vibrant Gujarat Summit in January of this year, the CEPA Council aims to ensure businesses in both nations gain tangible benefits from the CEPA. In doing so, the Council has 3 specific objectives in mind. Firstly, to build trust, dialogue, and open engagement by providing an outlet for all companies, both small and large, to have a real input into the direction of our bilateral economic partnership. Secondly, to encourage inclusive and diverse partnerships with an emphasis on promoting key role of industries such as startups, women entrepreneurs, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, and the services sector within the broader economic relationship. And finally, to create a robust platform through which Indian and UAE businesses can fully grasp the opportunities born through the CEPA, while also leveraging the close strategic partnership that has developed over the recent years between the UAE and Indian governments. 9 months since its inauguration, the Council continues to make significant progress in achieving these objectives. The Council has already held business roundtables in 7 Indian states, where we have engaged closely and constructively with local business communities to discuss opportunities to increase trade ties with the UAE and how these businesses can best leverage the CEPA. These roundtables span the length and breadth of the country, covering cities like Jaipur, Patna, Vijayawada, and Bhubaneswar, directly engaging with over 500 Indian businesses. These roundtables have also served as a vital feedback loop, allowing us to address challenges to trade and to gain important insights on the CEPA. We have also gauged strong interest among Indian businesses from across sectors to establish a presence in the UAE. And we have supported these businesses in doing so. Of equal importance, the Council is also supporting UAE businesses seeking to enter the Indian market. Our organization is quickly becoming a go-to resource for UAE businesses wishing to better understand the growth opportunities presented by India and to increase their footprint in what is a vibrant and growing economy. Looking ahead, I believe that there is a significant scope for the UAE-India CEPA Council and the IBPC to support each other's members and to ensure businesses receive the correct guidance and advice in entering each respective market. Effectively, the CEPA Council is keen to ensure UAE and Indian businesses are provided eased pathways to establish themselves in each market and to follow the path of success undertaken by many of you in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude my remarks by reaffirming the CEPA Council's keen interest and desire to work closely with all of you and to ensure that you are able to leverage the benefits of the CEPA. With the CEPA in place, your businesses are perfectly positioned to gain greater advantages from the dynamic and ever-evolving bilateral trade and investment relations between our 2 countries. I look forward to engaging with you all in today's event and to gain greater understanding of not only your goals and interests, but also to better be appraised by any challenges or obstacles you may have faced or are facing. Without question, the Indian business community and diaspora in the UAE is one of the most dynamic. Your understanding of the bilateral ecosystem and awareness of both the opportunities and challenges inherent within the UAE-India partnership is invaluable to both governments. Thank you very much.
Yeah, may I request Mr. Ramesh Mahalingam, the governing board and practicing chartered accountant, to come on the stage and felicitate Mr. Ahmad. So moving forward, the agreement is comprehensive. The question comes, why comprehensive? If it is addressing the trade and treaties and tariffs, then why is it comprehensive? I was having many questions I can address now, but I'm holding those questions because if the comprehensiveness is there, because it's not just 7,581 projects, it's about entire ecosystem, the digital economy, the education, the shipping and logistics, and it's not limiting. Even if we refer the CEPA Council's website, there are Q&A. And in one of that Q&A, that the length of visa for the business visa, business visitor, even that is part of comprehensive agreement. So to take it forward, again celebrating that the target of 10 years in 2022 when it was signed was USD 100 billion. As that time, the bilateral non-trade transactions were valuing to amounting to 66 billion USD. And as we just heard in between the narratives, we are already at 85% threshold. 85 billion USD is already done. So 10 years target, probably by next year we are going to do. But how are we going to do? What are the challenges are going to come? Because it's not just trade, it is comprehensive. It's also addressing that 1 million jobs are going to be created through this arrangement, through this agreement. For that, I would like to honor Mr. Marwan Abdul Aziz Janahi here, who has been kind enough to come today. He is Senior Vice President of Dubai Science Park, Dubai Knowledge Park, Dubai International Academic City, and he has been kind enough to participate in a panel discussion today. And the panel discussion is going to be moderated by none other than our focus group convener of MNC, Mr. Shri Kumar Brahmanandan. Shri Kumar has been associated with IBPC, I think since the time 2003, almost 21 years. Even prior to that, when the forum was Indian Business Council, IBPC, he was in that. He is convener of MMC focus group presently. And when the CEPA, the knowledge bank was being created, he has had the forum of IBPC for investment, CEPA, and family offices. As an investment director, Shri Kumar is working with Dubai Investment PJSC Group, a leading DFM listed company with an asset value of more than AED 25 billion. So, Mr. Shri Kumar, you are most welcome on the stage, and to take us forward with the panel discussion, the spicy talks, because there are many questions. The audience, as we are seeing here, is full of questions today, and I'm sure your panel discussion is going to address. So please introduce your panelists, and please come forward. Thank you.
Namaskar, Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor to be here on this occasion of celebrating the success and also to discuss what is in store for us in the years to come. Sahityaji, in his typical style, has thumped with a roaring sound that 100 billion, आधा हो गया, 85% हो गया. Okay. Great to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, it also gives me a lot of satisfaction, because when IBPC as a front runner in promoting the conduit for trade between India and UAE, particularly for Dubai, in the Q4 of 2022, just a few years after we signed this comprehensive agreement, did conduct a very good session for pharmaceutical specific initiative for CEPA. It was in 22 November, if I remember correctly, and I had the honor again to conduct that function. And Brother Marwan was our chief guest in that function also. And in that function, in that particular event, we had almost 100 participants from India connected hybrid. And I'm so happy to share with you that personally I received a lot of calls and inquiries, and we could guide a lot of them. And Mr. Marwan the other day also was telling me that Science Park, which hosts more than 500 companies, and probably 45 of them are Indian companies, and some of them have come after that session, knowing about Science Park and what it can offer. So it's a great honor and privilege to be here once again. And when I heard all this, 85 billion, 100 billion, and all these stories of how we are growing, I was wondering, GCC India trade in the last fiscal year has actually dropped by double digit. But India UAE trade is maintained or grown. Why? So some of those answers I believe we will give you in the really enriching and electrifying, hopefully, the panel discussions. And the floor will be open for at least 15 minutes, Saityaji, for taking good questions. So this is what is the event flow, what we are planning today. And let me first introduce the panelists, even though Saityaji did the honor a bit, but our brother and well-wisher of IBPC and the Indian community here, Mr. Marwan Janahi. He is representing TCOM Group PJSC, and he oversees the assets of Dubai Science Park. He was formerly the CEO of Dubai Science Park, and recently the GOD, Government of Dubai, has entrusted him to head the Dubai's academic city and the knowledge village. 32,000 old students in Dubai academic city. And I'm so happy to also let the audience know, brother, around 12,000, right, is international students, not the students, sons of expats or daughters of expats here, flying into Dubai. So Dubai is becoming a overseas student destination, all due to good work of Marwan. One thing what I know about Marwan is, he loves nature. Half the time if I call him, he says, I am in Morocco. Otherwise he will say, I am in Ethiopia. What are you doing, brother? Trekking. So 4 or 5 months back, I need some help from him, so I called him. He said, I am at 4,000 meter elevation in the mountains in Morocco. So wish you good luck with your health, and definitely we need a lot of healthy discussion today. It's our pleasure to have you here, and we welcome you to the center seat, Mr. Marwan. We all know that Dubai, the name Dubai, when we tell to our fellow Indians or to others, they say glittering city of gold. So we are privileged to have with us the Tata Jewelry Group and Titan, the head of international business, Mr. Aditya. Mr. Aditya Singh, we welcome you to the stage. 2 decades of retail experience, and a lot of good work he has done in chemicals, power, telecom, IT, whatnot of the Tata Group. And he is also a serial entrepreneur. The most interesting thing about Aditya is, really I was impressed when we were talking, that he believes in women empowerment, not by words and not to save yourself at home. Most of us believes in women empowerment just to save ourselves at home, but he really does it by action. So he has been supporting women micro entrepreneurs with mentoring in the state of Assam in India. And he is actively promoting Reng Day, the big initiative for women entrepreneurs. Nani Kali Foundation, and he is supporting this foundation for a long time, and he is also on the advisory board of a lot of women startup initiatives. So thank you very much, and we look forward to hear a lot about the shining part of it, the glittering diamonds and jewelry from you. Next, it's my honor to invite the Tata Consumer Head's head here, MENA region, Mr. Rishi Chadha. Mr. Rishi, please come on the stage. Again, a veteran in the FMCG space with probably 24, 25 years of experience. He has demonstrated and has a passion to grow business, learn from challenges, and building teams. When you talk to him, you can understand he's a team player. He would like to build teams and build brands. And that's what we are seeing today, the Tata Consumer in this market. And the CEPA has got a lot to do with the consumer goods. And we are seeing, as our Vice Chairman was mentioning, a lot of Indian goods being present in the last 2 years here. So thank you, and it's our honor, Rishi. Last but not the least, our dear friend, fellow IVPC member, any IVPC function here, you will not miss one face, none other than Dr. Rajesh Agarwal. It's my honor and privilege to welcome Dr. Rajesh Agarwal ji. He's a champion of sustainability. We talk about sustainability in multiple dimensions, but Dr. Rajesh believes in sustainability through reprocessing of scrap in this country. And he has this business today spread over about 20 countries, and he leads the RKG Group as the CEO of RKG Group, and he's also the Vice President of Bureau of the Middle East Recycling Council, BMR, and also the Chamber of Commerce, Dubai's DRBG, the Dubai Recycling Business Group. So most of you are aware that Dubai Chamber of Commerce have created today about 100 business groups, 86 precise, right? Yeah. 106. Yeah, 106 now. Sorry, my apologies, 106. So one of this business group is for the recycling one. And it's also important to note that Mr. Marwan is the chair of Pharma Council under the chamber for a long time. And I also happen to sit on the Dubai Hospital Business Group in the Dubai Chamber of Commerce. So we look forward to probably not to make you bored a lot and try to give you an engaging session. And the floor is open now for the panel. Thank you. I don't know, for some reason, Mr. Marwan always, refused to miss my eye. So I'll start with him. A veteran and an advocate of Indian businesses, particularly in pharma. I know it personally because we also run a pharma business, and we have been associated for a long time. We would like to know from your experience, Marwan, what is the potential for Indian pharma companies in Dubai, and particularly in view of the CEPA's, concession, if I may say, the speedy approvals, and what are the challenges for an Indian pharma company to come here, and how CEPA helped it?
Thank you very much, Sri Kumar, and everyone here in the council. I have been trying to attend your events, and it's always full of dynamics and lots of familiar faces. So you are doing a good job in keeping everyone here and engaging with everyone. And CEPA obviously, really paved the way for a continued growth in certain sectors. And I think pharma is one of the key sectors. During my travels to India, I was really taken away by the size of the pharma industries and how India is really the basket, the medicine basket of the world. Whether it's Europe, the US, Indian companies are the major suppliers. And I think mostly because if you look at the diseases in the developing countries, it's mostly lifestyle diseases. And lifestyle diseases needs to be managed on a daily basis. And I think, the likes of Reddy's and CIPLA and all that, they've done really an excellent job. I think there are more FDA approved plants in India than the US. So that just, gives you the scale of manufacturing in India. Now, let's start with the challenge rather than the opportunities. One of the key challenges for the Indian companies is that if you import to the UAE directly, then the country of origin pricing is taken into consideration. So the price of medicine in India obviously is very low given the scale, and that was the country of origin, and the Ministry of Health, our local regulations, used that as the base price. Now that was a big challenge for Indian companies. It did not make sense because importing the product here, distributing the product, marketing the product, costed much more than India, and very different markets. However, the solution to that is partnering with local manufacturers. So one of the first companies who really cracked that code was Biocon from Bangalore back in 2006 or 2007. And then there was a lot of companies who followed that. So there are ways around this regulation. I know a lot of the government officials were trying to lobby against this rule of Ministry of Health. Hopefully it will change. I know that there is a new entity called Emirates Drug Establishment, EDE, that is like the FDA for the UAE. So hopefully they are more receptive, and they will change these regulations. Another very interesting fact is that both Emirates Airlines and Etihad take care of a staggering number of 70% of Indian pharma companies export to the US via the UAE. 70%. I mean, can you imagine? It's a huge number. So if the Indian companies are manufacturing and sending their products via the UAE, then it means that we can do it here as well. So I think the opportunities are massive. Both Etihad and Emirates have pharma-specific solutions for exporting, and both the carriers, I think, can reach the globe. So the pharma manufacturing space is very, very exciting, and I think there is a lot that can be done.
That was really enlightening.
I can talk more, but I'll stop here.
I was about to say the same. If you give him an opportunity to talk about how to cooperate and how to set up shop here by Indian pharmaceutical companies, I'm sure he can take a half-day seminar on that. And wealth of experience, wealth of knowledge. Thank you for the support always, Mr. Marwan. We will move on to Mr. Aditya. Everything which is glittering is not gold, but we understand that, I know it's a tough question. One of the early advantages from CEPA was for the diamond merchants or the diamond makers. CEPA opened the door in such a way that in 9% value addition in Dubai or in UAE, a diamond exported to India goes into 0% duty bracket from the early days. And one of the bigger reasons for the jump in jewelry trade was also this. And added to that, I believe 2% addition of platinum in gold was also making it to be, entitled for 0% duties. Just imagine how many jewelry makers had gone into the trade, and it has grown tremendously well. And thank you. We know that your brand has also made a big presence in UAE today. You go to every highways, you will see a Tanishq brand board, So Aditya, we just wanted to understand both ways, India to UAE and UAE to India, how does CEPA impacted in increasing the trade?
Thanks for that question, and noticing that the brand is growing here. Indeed, when we talk of CEPA, 2022 Feb when it got signed up, we had 2 stores from Tanishq brand here. Today we have 10 in UAE alone. Of course we have expanded to other markets outside of India, but that 5x growth is also the size of numbers that we are listening here. And probably a big factor of that growth is also coming because CEPA came into place. So it became that much easier saying, I mean, actually there is no difference bringing products which are being manufactured and loved here by customers coming from all over the world. They are here. And that mental barrier, I think it was less of a physical barrier or a cost barrier. It was more of a mental barrier that we are going into a different country. Do we really know the law? Is the government going to support? All those kind of mental barriers. And with CEPA coming, and I think Sahitiji was pointing that comprehensiveness, I think it does, the package does cover it very comprehensively where it supports. And internally we actually call it saying, whenever you hear of any government new policy coming up, whether it is within a country or whether it is a bilateral thing, it is always seen as a regulation, more monitoring, more regulation, more checks. And this was a classic example of it was government not regulating, government facilitating trade. So for a body like IBPC and all of us present here, I think CEPA is a great example of how government can actually facilitate. Now coming to the specific question of how it has improved, in very, very simple terms, there used to be a 5% import duty for jewelry coming from India into UAE. With CEPA getting signed up, that 5 became 0. That duty was completely removed. That's a huge advantage of anybody saying, okay, I will ship my products. In India, still, let's say the global tourist who comes in, they don't end up buying a jewelry there, right? They are out there to see the mountains and beaches and whatnot. They're not there to buy jewelry. But a global tourist is coming into Dubai, so any smallest of the business or even a large company like Titan, it gave that confidence, saying I can actually take my product, and fact of matter is, for Titan, UAE became the first destination outside of India. And in last 4 or 5 years, we have actually expanded to around 6 countries, but this remains our home for international business. So it's less about numbers. I think it's more about the confidence that the CEPA has inculcated in the businesses of all sizes, saying, yes, I can take my product international. That's been the biggest benefit, I would say.
We have been always proud about the Titan brand because we know that even years back, the world's thinnest watch was introduced by Titan. Nobody else did it. And it was with a lot of pride. I used to demonstrate that to my European friends. Look, this is a watch, and I used to have one of that. Thank you very much, Aditya. When I look at the audience, I can see a lot of our friends are here from the metal industry. So let me now switch from the shining gold to the hard metal part. And I cannot find anybody else better than Dr. Agarwal sitting here. Rajeshji, you're a champion of scrap recycling, and you grew your business a lot. And we always heard that India, because of our movement to better, greener economy, greener society, greener regulations, scrap business with India was actually going on the downward trend. Shipbreaking is stopped in most of the places, it is not allowed. But you seems to be always very happy about CEPA, and you got some benefits from CEPA. Can you just highlight that? What is the benefit you got from CEPA, and how are you enjoying that, and how others can get benefit in the similar lines?
Thank you, Shri. First of all, I have to address his compliment or his remark that there is one face which is always available in IBPC meeting, and I have to talk about that. Yes, he is 100% right. And I would like to tell my all brothers and sisters in absentia and those who are here, a Guru Mantra, why I am here always. We are here, I am here because to me this is an institution. IBPC is an institution. IBPC is a university, and I will tell you how. If I want to talk Mr. Ahmed, I think it may take 1 year time to take appointment, or to talk to him. But here, I talk to him like a brother, like a friend. If I want to talk to Mr. Marwan, same thing. So, IBPC organizing, and they are inviting so many good faculties and people. I learn here. And that is the reason I am always seen here, and I would request all my brothers and sisters that they should always be present in this meeting. Thank you for that. Now, what Mr. Sri asked, yes. We all know there was a time when UAE was, and particularly Dubai, was treated as a touristic destination. And people used to come here for tourists. They used to do shopping and go back. Today, this UAE is the most approachable place for Indians. And we all know that 1/3 Indians, that whatever is the UAE population, 1/3 are Indian. This is the best place for the as an opportunity, and that is the reason I have also chosen. I am a businessman, and businessman is always selfish. Yes, let us admit, why not? I am into the recycling business, and touch wood, we are doing good, and he says that I am happy. Yes, let me admit, yes, I am happy. Because this land has given the opportunity for development of recycling business, and because of CEPA, it has added the diamonds, not gold only, it added diamonds. Because UAE is developing, and it is getting more and more industrialized. Everybody knows. The government focuses industry now, along with oil and tourism. At the same time, India, our Indian Prime Minister and the present Indian government, they are calling Made in India. When we talk about Made in India, it means a lot of developments are taking place in all the sectors, including plant and machinery. If I talk about, he talked about me, yes. We used to import our plant and machinery from China. But because of this agreement, we found, yes, we can import from India and we don't have to pay the duties, it is allowed. One more thing, the inner thing I am telling you. There are certain countries which cannot import, or there is no trade relation between India and that country. But when it comes to UAE, there is no caste creed. It is UAE is importing and India is exporting. So no matter which country one belongs to, he is getting benefit of CEPA, and industry is growing both ways. Thank you.
So what we understood is that you are happy because you are able to import Deshi machines without paying duty. Correct, Ajay? So that gives me immense pleasure. And now let's move from metal to brands. Brand building is a tough task. I don't think many of us in this room can really build a brand. It needs a different DNA. And Rishi, we would like to know your experience and how CEPA enabled you to build some of this Tata brand in a dynamic way with a CAGR of probably more than 15% year on year. So can you just share with us the secret?
Yeah, thanks, Srikumar, and thank you, IPPC, for inviting me on this forum. Really happy to be with so many brilliant minds. Yeah, so actually it's not 15%, CAGR is over 50%. So I think we have really seen CEPA support the consumer goods business of Tata Consumer grow in this region. We are a small part of the international business if I look at the overall Tata Consumer space, but we are the fastest growing. So I think I just feel one thing about consumer products. I mean, you know, we make the day-to-day products that you consume, right? So we make tea, coffee, cereals, pulses, anything that you can think of that goes into your pantry. And I think one of the biggest things that COVID taught us was that, I mean, there are 2 or 3 businesses which are probably recession-proof in this world, right? I mean, whatever happens, we have to eat every day, or we have to, drink tea, coffee, water, whatever we need to energize ourselves with. But what happens in tough times, consumers tend to downtrade. They, try to switch and get better value. And I think post-COVID, that has become a reality which is sustaining. Consumers have become much more, choiceful of how they spend their wallet. And it's about seeking much better value. So I think what CEPA has given, just as Aditya said, even for many of the categories that we carry, we have found that the duty reduction from 5% to 0% has helped us offer much better value to the consumer in this market, and thereby, be equivalent to brands that, come from, whether it's Europe or anywhere else in the world, to both, Indian diaspora, as someone said, is a very large portion of the resident UAE population, as well as, people from all other nationalities. So I think CEPA is helping us evangelize products, concepts from India to the UAE, and vice versa, definitely, because I heard about Council General talk about the kind of trade which has increased between both countries, by a huge amount. So I think there is a huge fillip that has happened to our business. And I see this only growing, because the other thing which we find in the consumer goods industry is that, ideas work at the speed of light. There are no silos today. So, if you are in India today, suddenly Korean noodles and Mexican food has become on trend, and people sitting so far away want to, consume that. Like my son suddenly said, I want to consume Prime. Prime is not available in India. It's a very popular energy drink. So just sitting and watching on YouTube something which is made somewhere else, so that's how ideas work. And I think that's how, brands and categories are built across the world. So I think this, fluidity and openness will give the opportunity for, brands and products to grow across both countries. Thank you.
Let's get back to Aditya. Again, see, this jewelry and glitter is not leaving me easily. So we are coming back to you. We know that 64% or 65% was a growth in this segment. But we all know that, yes, anything which is new, it has to go through its own course of corrections, mid-term corrections, reviews, etc., etc. For sure, you would have seen some challenges. So what you see are the challenges and what needs to be done to make it more smooth and, allow this 64% to become 100% in 1 year time.
I think a great question. As you rightly said, there's always a room for improvement. Howsoever great policies, there's always a scope. And I'll tell you from our personal experience. Of course, we have industry views also because we keep meeting at the industry level. But I'll tell directly from our personal view. And there are 2 sides of it. There is a India side from where we are exporting using CEPA. There is the domestic side once it reaches here. So there is still a lot of paperwork which is involved when you are shipping products out of India. And at times what happens is when you have planned your inventory to be shipped using CEPA, so you do all that paperwork when it is about to be shipped. And jewelry industry anyways has its own set of regulations and all. It takes time. And if there is a festive season here, you want to get that inventory as fast as possible. That still comes because you can plan that, okay, Diwali is coming or some festive is coming. You can plan it very well so that it reaches in time. So that's okay. But jewelry is a category where a lot of customers also place custom-made jewelry order. Let's say somebody has purchased a ring here, they want to get the sizing or resizing done, or want to change the stone from a ruby to emerald or something. That customer can't wait. We can't tell them that no, the CEPA paperwork is going on, it will take 5 days, 10 days and it will come. That customer needs, so even today with CEPA being there in existence for 2 years, all the custom made jewelry, we are actually still shipping by paying 5% duty. So that we avoid that time delay and to service the customer next day. The product is ready there in the factory, you ship it, it's okay, I'll pay 5% duty and I'll still, but I want the customer to get a great experience. So that is one piece, and I feel there is a lot of scope of automation of this. Saying, I know very well that this is about to come in, I can do the pre-work in a digital format for that. So that's one side. Second is, and that's less to do with CEPA, more to do with GCC construct per se. So for any business which is into, let's say, retail stores, the retail stores are spread across multiple countries. So while we started with UAE, we have expanded into Qatar, into Oman, we are planning expansion into Saudi and Kuwait as well. We still are looking for that fluidity between, so once the product has come to UAE, now there is a requirement of that product, let's say in Qatar. It's very easy to actually ship from Dubai to Qatar versus bringing it from India. That fluidity within UAE, specifically for CEPA products, is a bigger challenge. Because at least in the jewelry space, what happens is a product has been made in India, sent for the purpose of consumption in UAE. That's the construct in jewelry space. I cannot take that product out. That is still a limitation. Probably there might be still limitations in our understanding of the policy. We are also trying to work with the regulators, trying to understand this even better. But that still remains a limitation. Third piece in jewelry, when you bring products and you never know a certain design line will work or not work. And it's a high value item. You always look for, if there is a scope that I have brought in, let's say 100 pieces, if this line doesn't work, can I at least take back 5%, 10%, some pieces back to the home country? In India, for example, Tanishq has 450 plus showrooms. I still have only 10 showrooms here. Yeah. The nature of customer here is pretty uniform. Versus when you go to a large country like India, I'm like, the nature of customer, the nature of choices from a Kerala to Bengal to Punjab is very, very different. So that product which may not be working here, may actually work in some part of the country. So if I can take back, that facility is not there, because if I take back the jewelry from here, I have to pay a heavy duty in the Indian shores. So these are possible still things which can get evolved under CEPA. One thing I still want to mention, whenever because I take care of the international business for Tanishq, whenever I go to any country and I'm meeting Indian ambassadors or regulatory bodies or ministers in different countries, I always give example of India UAE CEPA, saying that is the kind of arrangement that we are looking forward to. So kudos to whosoever has worked on this program.
Excellent inputs, and of course we all know that anything which is in the growing phase needs some midterm corrections and scope for improvement. We know for sure we have the greatest asset today here, so he is hearing you and definitely he took note of what you have suggested. Now let's again come back to the technology side, research side and education side. I was fortunate enough to be in Delhi in the G20 summit as part of the delegation from Dubai, UAE Economic Ministry. And in a couple of sessions I have seen lot of insistence on research, education and technology business between India and UAE. And who else can give us an overview of that and how CEPA is going to help, other than Mr. Marwan here, how we can get more investments in science and technology and education here. Mr. Marwan.
This is a very broad question, so I'll try to narrow it down a little bit. You know, this. Oops. Hello? Yes. So, technology and research. You know, I think UAE as a young nation, we never had the legacy of research. And that is something that we need to build in many, many years. India has the, you know, the capacity and the talent that does a lot of contract research for global companies. And we have many examples to share, but one of the closest one to my heart is Himalaya, that has opened their R&D center in Dubai Science Park. And when we had the first discussion, in fact, when we visited them in Bangalore, I said, we are only 3 hours away and you have an amazing facility here, manufacturing, research. Why is it that you want to do research in the UAE? And they said, Himalaya is not only an Indian brand, it's actually a global brand, and we have a global presence, Europe, US, Middle East, and we are a company that needs to develop global brands. So for us to do that, we need a global talent. And where is better than Dubai for us to do that? So this was the main driver for their decision to open their R&D center. And they were recently actually visited by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid while I was on holiday, so I missed that important visit, but they were over the moon. They were very happy. Talent, I think, is key to research. And this is, a sector that now I'm working very closely with the Dubai International Academic City and Knowledge Park. And we have great universities, BITS Pilani, Manipal, Amity, etc. And
if it is not confidential, you can also share with what you are working with the GOI regarding the IITs and the IIM, which is going to come in Dubai between the governments.
Yes, I think, no, it's not working. Yes, we are talking to both IIM and IIT. There has been various visits. I think IIT opened, one of the IITs opened in Abu Dhabi. But I will be very open, in this forum, that the model of Abu Dhabi is a little bit different than Dubai, where the Abu Dhabi government guarantees a certain number of students through sponsorships sponsorships. Whereas the Dubai model is a little bit different. You have to stand on your feet from day one. If you can make it, we'll help you. If not, good luck. But that, gives universities or training centers a bit more agility. So yeah, lots happening. I think if you look at the future sectors, what are the future sectors? Whether it's AI, manufacturing, e-commerce, etc. The base of those sectors is talent. And if we don't have the right talent for that, then we can never flourish in those sectors. So, super important. India will definitely play an important role given the institutions that they have. And we're more than happy to be working with them. So one of the things I always get asked is that how can Dubai or the UAE help those universities? Now, the most important thing for universities is student recruitment. And Dubai has spent millions or billions in advocating for Dubai as a destination for tourism. And now what we are working on is to create a Study in Dubai campaign, is to attract students. Because I was arguing with the people in the Dubai economic and tourism. I said, you look at the ROI of a tourist, why don't you look for the ROI for a student? Because students would stay for either 1 semester or 4 years. And your average tourist stays for 5 days. so they were, they were developing something, and hopefully we'll launch it early next year.
I think with your leadership, we look forward to greater cooperation and growth of R&D, technology, and also MOIIT's initiatives of bringing in more technology initiatives here. Thank you. We don't have a healthcare specialist in this panel, but for the benefit of others, we have a team of doctors and other people from the Clemenceau Medical Center Hospital here. I don't have the permission from them to make an announcement. It is still a little early for an announcement, but I'm happy to share with the audience that Clemenceau Medical Center Hospital, which is also a Johns Hopkins reference hospital, is almost close to announce a collaboration with a leading Indian hospital to bring the big names, physicians and surgeons to Dubai. So this is also coming part of the CEPA. Thank you guys for coming. Now let me also go to the softer side of it. Anything what we do here has to also touch our heart, right? So you have the left side and the right side. So economically it should match, also emotionally it should match. I cannot find anybody else to ask this question than Mr. Rajesh ji to share with us, but this time with a difference. There is a time cap of 60 seconds to share with us as an old 20 plus years expat here, what difference you are seeing with the CEPA in place here?
See, yes, 20 years I am here. And right now everybody talked about gold and high education and all this, but I am talking about the recycling, which is a black gold. The difference what I find in very short language is that UAE is going to be an industrial city, and my imagination in one line would be, right now we find even the car or truck made in Japan, made in Korea, made in this. Because of this CEPA, a day is not far when we will find the car is made in UAE. That is the power of CEPA, and it is going to come. Thank you.
We have the brand builder here, Rishi. He is relaxing a bit, thinking the questions came this way, so he has escaped the round. Not so. So, what do you think further we can do to, boost this growth in the brand building? And a lot of Indian brands are coming, as our Vice Chairman Sunil Sinha ji was mentioning. What do you anticipate, and how this will grow further?
So I think one of the things is that, we have a huge list of items which are already in the list, but I think there is scope to, increase that. There are a lot of products and categories which, probably have their origin from India. It could be, simple things like, in the Ayurvedic space, ghee, for example, ghee is something, organic ghee, which has become a rage worldwide. I find it I was in Australia a couple of months back, and I found that, there is the New Zealand ghee brand, which talks about the ancient tradition of Ayurveda and how ghee is so important for your body. And that is now a raging thing in Australia. So I think there are more categories, and I think there is also a lot of opportunity for Indian and UAE businesses to work together to merge concepts, which could be emerging as new things. It need not be, origin only from India or only from UAE. It could be a kind of fusion concept which could actually work for consumers in both these, areas. So I think there is a lot of potential to actually do that. And I think the second piece, which I feel that this trade is doing, is going this way or that way. But what about we developing more manufacturing tie-ups here in the UAE? Because I think UAE is, very, very beautifully positioned to develop into Africa. A lot of trade flows happen off Africa, and Africa is still a very unexplored continent for consumer businesses, for a lot of businesses. So I think that could be a great zone for us to work as a way
So you are suggesting, along with the Atmanirbhar Bharat, we can also have a Make in UAE go in parallel.
Yes.
Great idea.
Yeah.
But let me continue this question, and it is for the benefit of our CEPA Council, Mr. Ahmad sitting here. Can you give us, in 15 seconds, one area where a regulatory change or a revision of the CEPA regulation is required? Can you see one of them to bolster growth of trade in the brand building?
I think while products are well covered, I feel services could be an area that we could improve.
That's actually a voice which we are hearing from multiple business discussions, Mr. Ahmad Janabi, about the services part. See, one initiative most of these bodies are taking today is, I can take an example of DMCC, let me go like that. DMCC was one of the beneficiaries of CEPA from the early days. How many number of jewelries and diamond entities have opened in DMCC? You can't believe. The new one JLT was built primarily for most of this growth. So that's a great thing DMCC got. But they understood it is going to get stagnated. So if you heard them loud and clear in the last few weeks, in many areas, in Singapore, I saw an article where in Singapore they were presenting about the India, UAE, CEPA and its growth as an example. And they are exploring new avenues and new areas to be added into the CEPA, and one of them is agroeconomy. I also know why they are talking about it, because DMCC is also promoting as a commodity trading hub. So this is also one area which you can take a note, because there is a lot of food trading companies here and agro trading companies here. They would like to grow their business in this sector, Mr. Ahmed. How much time we have, Secretary General Saab? Because we can go on, but it is time for Q&A. So let me take the liberty for a couple of minutes more. I could see the stress on everybody to finish the thing, and I have the watch which is already showing me the time is up. Brother Marwan, can you share, for example, one area where there is a requirement for a revisit on certain provisions in CEPA which could help the growth of pharma? Tough question, I know.
I think you already touched on it, which is services. A lot of things, whether it's consulting or other things, is considered as a service. Even research, it's not necessarily a moving product. So that service clause, I think, is very, very big, and it can serve many, many industries. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mindful of time, I just wanted to only touch on one more industry. In 30 seconds, I will explain myself rather than inviting a couple of people sitting here for the benefit of you. UAE is producing 2.5 million of upstream aluminum billets. And in the downstream, we make probably half a billion. So that means there is huge scope. But India, UAE, aluminum downstream business is not happening. I'm sure you are mindful of this. I believe EGA was in India in the recent times, 2-3 occasions to promote that. The barrier is again the duty. After the premium, an Indian UAE product to go to India, they were charged 10.5% before, but after CEPA it is systematically coming down, and today I think it stands at 4.7%. So that's a great news for anybody who want to get into aluminium manufacturing and export to India. Slowly it is becoming an area of attractiveness. At 3%, 4%, I think a UAE made product can really sell in India, competing with Jindals or Hindalcos or anybody. So this is one area you can probably take a note. Can we expedite? Can you fast track? 0% instead of 27, can it be brought forward to say 25 or 26? It will boost the trade a lot for both the companies. It was a great evening and a good discussion. Fellow panelists, they all exceeded the expectations and definitely enlightened all of us. And we are also here to take question and answer. With your permission, 15 minutes we can provide for Q&A, or 10 minutes? Yeah, okay, 10 minutes. So there is 10 minutes, and there will be a hard stop at 10 minutes because we are mindful of the time and the auditorium. Thank you very much. Open floor for questions.
My name is Gary Wabi. I'm a very old member of both the groups in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And I was involved in setting up the IBPC here also. What I would ask from Mr. Marwan and Mr. Junebi, the next big business like IT in India is going to be pharma. It is going to be $250 billion of trade export. Yeah. Now the biggest problem, issue with regards to the pharma business here is the recognition of the Indian product. Now, how much of the international pharma companies put clangor in the system so that the Indian product is not approved? And I have some examples, but I'm not talking about it.
I don't think it's that. I know, I mean, I'm very open, and, you know, the lobby, let's say, of international companies is strong. You know, they've been here for a long time, they've been doing business for a long time. But similarly, the Indian companies should also build relationships. You know, they have only come to the market not too long ago. So I think it's not a matter of do we trust the Indian products or not. No, because we know that the quality is as good as the international companies. In fact, a lot of the large companies manufacture in India, you know, whether it's AstraZeneca, Pfizer, etc. So it's not a question of quality, it's a question of, you know, building the relationship and also people being familiar. So I would put the finger onto the Indian company saying, you guys need to, yes.
Yeah. Can I just add 15 seconds to that? You know that for your information, we also run a pharma company. UAE's second largest pharma company is run by us. It's one of the global pharma.
Global pharma.
So it's one of my portfolio
Global
company.
pharma.
Global pharma. So the reality is that most of the top 5 pharma companies, if you take here, 50% of the molecules are the Indian origin molecules. This is something which is really, really growing today. And I can proudly say that out of 100 plus molecules we manufacture in global pharma, at least 54, 55 of them are Indian files. Thank you. Next question.
Hi everyone, my name is Nainish Kumar. I come from the risk and governance team of Liberty Steel Group. So I have a potentially very generic question that does not specifically relate to any particular sector, but we have all been hearing from a lot of industries and businesses in India that the cost of doing, the conversations are right now not just about the ease of doing business, but it's also about the cost of doing business in India. And potentially it appears that it's very high. So how do you think CEPA can act as a potential lever in terms of structurally addressing some of the policy bottlenecks with the government of India in order to bring that down?
It's a big question, but I will suggest Aditya if you can just add some response to being an Indian company representative here.
Sorry, if I got your question right, you're talking about cost of doing business in India. Okay, I mean, I'm like, if I were to respond as Titan, I'm like, actually cost of doing business in India is one of the lowest in the world. I'm like, you just, I'm like, if you compare just between UAE and India, just these two countries, because we all are part of both of those countries, let's say the cost of labor, the cost of rentals, cost of constructing a property, everything is much costlier in UAE as compared to India. So maybe I didn't understood the aspect of the question, but
I think it is a little larger area to, you know,
I think it is not today. Not relevance to CEPA. I don't think.
We can have quickly. I think there were some questions from there. Please,
That side.
2 more questions we can take. Maybe,
One from that side.
Very insightful discussion and threw a lot of light on what CEPA is all about. I had 2 questions, but I'll restrict it to 1 in the interest of time. Particularly the jewelry business. Very interesting. You've got 10 stores. Hope it's visible to everybody. Recently, it's been in the news for the wrong reasons, I guess. The diamond sector especially. There is some furor about the local diamond industry in India being affected by no duty on diamonds coming from UAE. And there was also some controversy about diamonds coming from the rest of the world through UAE going to India. Could you throw some light on that? Are the terms going to be revised regarding that?
Aditya, I think this was a subject we were discussing yesterday. So would you like to answer that? Or?
No, I think it's a fair question. It's been in the news. I'll try and open up the subject a little more. So what's been happening is with the Russia-Ukraine conflict going on, US has placed a lot of restrictions on Russian diamonds. Traditionally, Russia has been a source, actually the largest supplier of diamonds to the world. And if we just see the diamond trade, the direction, So the origins used to be in Russia. Surat in India used to be where the polishing of these diamonds used to happen, and then it used to flow to the rest of the world. So the biggest diamond companies of the world, their processing of diamond, the polishing part and bringing it to the shape, used to happen in India. Now when the lot of countries from, including US, lot of countries from Europe, then they put a restriction saying no diamond coming from Russia should be in the product. And the party which is supplying those has to give that certification that it is not sourced from Russia. It actually led to a lot of, I would say, job losses back in Surat, because then suddenly the supplies of diamond dropped drastically. So this is actually not necessarily something to do with the India-UAE thing. It is more of a larger geopolitical thing. And thereby what started happening, that some of the diamonds would pass on from Russia to UAE, and from UAE it started going to India. And there is no blockchain technology available saying, okay, so where is the source originally? And I'm like, so who gives the certificate? Is that person or the entity sitting in Surat who might be a small and medium enterprise? Are they in a position to certify that this is a non-Russian source? Because I have sourced it from UAE. I don't know who got it from where. So that's the larger scope of the controversy. I think it's more larger global geopolitical thing.
I think you made it in a short time, a good explanation. And Saitya ji said we'll take one question from this side. Yeah, Dr. Pavis. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I have a bit of small request from Mr. Marwan, that he mentioned that hiking, then academics and pharmaceutical industry. So it shows that you're trying your best to get talent into UAE. What steps you are taking to retain the talent? So let's say we can tell you that we worked in UK or we're coming from US. What is the government or yourself doing in academics to attract us? Because we have fascinating hospitals here, we have all the techniques, the technologies, but we are missing a little bit of academics. If you give us some incentive on academics, more people will stay.
I think it's a right question, and most of us discuss about it, particularly to develop R&D. And I think it's a big subject, and it's a lot of policy and other things involved, but you can give him a very quick answer for that, Marwan.
One of the things that I have on my KPI is to encourage collaboration between industry and academia, to kind of build a bridge between both. Is to, number one, identify the skill gaps. What are the skill gaps for students who want to go into the job market? And we want to make students market ready. So we want to be able to give them training courses, etc., before they graduate. So this discussion or bridge between industry and academia is important, because many times the universities work by themselves, and not really talk to the industry. So this is one. Secondly, internship opportunities. Having students go and work in the summer times, again, whether it's hospitals, research centers, etc. Talking about research, the new corporate tax, for example, is now finally providing incentives for people who invest in research. So companies will be paying less tax if they invest in research. Now, I don't know the details, it's very new, but this is one of the things that will encourage more and more research. I mean, if you look in Europe and the US, the biggest driver for companies doing research is that they end up paying less tax. And whether it's through the grants or other schemes. But this scheme is very, very new, and I think it will be a big change for the UAE.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you. I think with that we'll take... Okay.
One more question. I already...
Yeah.
Tanishq, who is the biggest in India? Tanishq or Malabar Gold?
Difficult question, because Malabar does not publish the India-specific result.
You are the biggest in India, but UAE, your presence is very less.
Very, very less. The reason for that is, see, if you talk about some of the chain players, Joy Alucas was the first one to enter into UAE way back in 1985. Malabar first entered somewhere around 90s, then went back, closed all the business.
I think let us be specific on CEPA.
So correct, that's what I'm saying. But from a size of business perspective, see the CEPA, what has done is, it has equally benefited, and as I said in the beginning, all the players in the jewelry industry. For us, it became much more advantageous because we still don't have a manufacturing in UAE. Some of the players have manufacturing in UAE already. So for them, probably the benefit was lesser. For us, who was bringing everything from India, 5% becoming 0% was a much bigger benefit.
With a lot of respect to Chakuji and Adityaji, he is available here. Yes, offline we can continue this discussion. I must say that I am the most fortunate moderator, feeling so proud and happy to have Aditya, Brother Marwan, Rajeshji and Rishi cooperating and really giving a lot of insights to everybody. It was my privilege to have you as a fellow panelist, and thank you very much. Thank you, lovely audience.
No, certainly it is a privilege for all of us having this type of the forum on podium. The entire industry, the most beneficial, what we learned today is starting from the target of CEPA. Where are we? Which are the opportunities? What are the potentials? Yes, 85% is the threshold. We have already passed the journey, but as 64% growth we have seen in the diamond and jewelry segment, 39% growth we have seen in pharmaceutical, 34% growth we have seen the FMCG, the agri products, and then in totality the CEPA has given in 1 year time 15% growth in non-oil trade economy bilateral transactions from India, UAE and UAE, India. Challenges are also acknowledged, very well acknowledged, that one side is the automation, that compliances part, the documentation, that old and conventional ways, if those are digitalized, automation can be done, it will benefit, we can much more, and it's not the 10 years target, it can be done even much lower than that. A span of time will be very less if the cross-border transaction not only limiting with UAE, if we open it up with the GCC transactions, the CEPA, if that can be copied or can be taken it to the GCC countries, it will double immediately the benefits. And last but not least, made in India, collaborating with UAE enterprises so that the manufactured goods are coming here. Value addition of just 9% can save you a big amount on the custom duties. And the big challenge on the homework of India, that when we are exporting back from UAE to India, the balance is quite big, the gap is big, and that's where our role comes in place. So very well managed. May I request the convener of AAA, Accountants, Advisors and Auditors Group of IBPC, Mr. James Matthew, to come on the stage and felicitate